And welcome to Incredibly Live. Yes.
What up?
One more for good measure. What is going on? This is the episode. He already said it, but this is the episode that Gigalogics was waiting for. This is the episode that everybody on TikTok was waiting for as well. I'm your host, Joey, as always, joined by, because you call me beautiful, the handsome,
thank you,
sensual Uchi.
The words.
Uchi over there. On this wonderful Wednesday day. Been a lot of stuff going on. It's been good stuff. TikTok's been blowing up. Whether it's good or bad, it's blowing up. That's for certain.
It's always good. It's always good.
This week, or I guess today, we're going to be talking about X-Men 97 episode 8, Tolerance's Extinction, which, as always, fucking slapped. Was a banger, or as it is colloquially known now as a burger after burger after burger. We will also be talking about Ghost Rider 2007, as that was our homework assignment from last week, and we're all caught up now. Also, we have a X-Men character draft, which we will get into a little later to flesh out the details and hopefully have some fun with it. But Uch, how you doing?
Dude, I just, when I think my allergies are gone, they're not. And it's so annoying.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm okay.
Good.
I'm alive. I'm hype. This X-Men shit, man, is going crazy. I'm telling you. Like,
yes, it is.
I didn't even know my short got like 10K on YouTube. I was like,
I
what?
saw that.
That never happens. So yeah, here we are.
Yeah, I got 10K on YouTube, and then you're doing pretty good on TikTok too. It's like 14K when I checked
last time I checked, it was around that number too. And then freaking Marvel, of all people, that Marvel themselves said that they reacted the same way.
Yeah, you got the stamp of approval from social media intern number 2.
Hey, wait a shit on it.
No, it's still pretty sick because I was talking to Sarah about this. I'm like, how many notifications do you think they get in a day? Well, I think it's got to be like hundreds of thousands, right? And for them to just be scrolling and you show up on their For You page is so sick that somebody got paid to watch your video and comment on it. How's that feel? That feels good.
Dude, it feels awesome. Like, I can't even remember the last time anyone of any sort of significance, like, let me know that they watched one of my anythings.
Yeah.
Was probably like Nasir with A Legend of Dragon Ball Tale. And that's like an unofficial thing, but it's so good, people want to acknowledge it as an official piece. So, I mean, but that's the closest.
Yeah. That's still pretty sick.
Yeah.
So to get things started, I want to talk about this real fast. Is that we both got to see Spider-Man 3 on Monday. It was the first time that I got to
Yup.
see the new re-release of it. First time Sarah's ever seen the movie. And it was probably one of the most fun experiences I've ever had in the theaters because we all love Toby. However, some of that shit is just so funny. Everything that he does when he becomes Bully Maguire, and
Yes.
all the scenes of him where there's the of him in the bedroom and it's just panning around his head when he has the hair all swooped down looking like an emo kid back in 2007. Um, it's just so good. It's so much fun.
Yeah. The funny thing is, and I've been to all three of the showings so far,
Mhm.
and this one in particular got the most crowd reactions.
Interesting.
And yeah, that is something to note because, as history will tell you, or at least the internet, everyone hates this movie for
Apparently.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
And as a kid and until now, I have always vouched for Spider Man 3. And after watching it again and seeing it in theaters again, because, I'm sure I speak for a lot of folks, yourself included, when I say that, like, this has probably been since 2007 since any of us have actually seen it in a theater before.
Yeah, or anything like this.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like it's amazing in and of itself for to have that happen,
Yeah.
but then like to watch it as an adult and to understand like the themes and the narrative and like the characters and like to actually understand the overall story from start to finish. It was actually like so good, Joey, that
Mm.
I'm re-contemplating what I want to do on YouTube because
Mm.
real talk, like I just want to talk about these things in like video essay format,
Oh,
low key, but that takes a lot of work
yeah. Hey,
doing like,
man,
big movie reviews like that.
quality over quantity, right?
Yeah,
And I mean, you love Spider-Man. You could talk about Spider-Man all day. So
that's
who
facts.
knows? Maybe it's something good. So it was really interesting because my theater was very vocal. Everybody was laughing. Everybody was like talking,
Yes.
but it was like it wasn't like the annoying chitter chatter that you hear sometimes in the
Right, right,
theaters. It
yeah.
was like everybody was just kind of talking and poking fun at it, but everybody was poking fun at it because we love it so much, right? Because it's like that's Toby fucking Maguire on the silver screen again. First time in almost 20 years that we get to see this movie. So
Yeah.
it was a really good time. It was really funny seeing how they turned Harry into a Green Goblin, I guess Hobgoblin in a sense, and to make it like this is how I took it, to have him, like, appeal to, like, the younger generation and shit. They gave him, like, a surfboard or a snowboard as the
Yeah,
goblin
it's like a
glider.
hoverboard, yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
thought
like
that
a
was
cooler glider. Even though
yeah.
I like the glider a lot, so
Yeah, it was cool, and it was really interesting how he got to use it, throughout the entire movie, so, a lot of fun. I forgot that we got 2, almost 3 villain origin stories in the movie. That was a lot of fun with Eddie and then with, Sandman, so
yeah.
good stuff. Overall, I'd probably give it a 10 out of 10, easy, as a rewatch score.
Oh my god.
But, yeah, I'm so glad. Uh, Gigalogic says, "I just didn't like 2 things, Venom from Spider-Man 3 and how Peter treats MJ." Yeah,
Oh
that's fair.
shit, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean that kind of played into the entirety of the movie,
Yeah.
because he was like I don't want to get too much into it because like there's a lot to
Yeah,
dissect
we could
from
do
it.
this on this whole
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like that could be something I end up doing, which I kind of do want to do because like I've been watching and listening more listening to a lot of like YouTubers just talk about comic book
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm just like, damn, bro, like I know they spend a lot of time on these
Oh, yeah.
videos. So like, you know, I know it takes a lot of effort, but I think it would be worth it
Yeah,
to,
I agree.
But the thing, well, really quick before we move on,
Yeah.
so the whole Goblin thing, as a kid, I always thought like, is he supposed to be like the new Hobgoblin, like you said? But then, like, when you look at the credits, and this is actually the same thing that applies for the Amazing Spider-Man movie when in the second one, I thought the same thing because I'm like, well, that's not Norman, so.
Right.
But
He's not really green.
well, in yeah, at least with I'm terrible with names, but the Harry from Tobey's Spider-Man
Yeah.
movies, he had some green on him. He looked a little bit more like it was darker and everything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But in the credits, it literally says New Green Goblin.
Interesting.
So like, I don't think either adaptation or portrayal was ever meant for either Harry's version to be like a hobgoblin.
Yeah.
They're essentially just either the new Green Goblin or whatever. Like,
Yep. That makes sense.
so to make it not as confusing, because like when you like know something and you like want it to like match with what you think you
Yes.
know, that's like the quarrel my mind has had. But now I'm just like, no, that's not how it is. So whatever.
Right.
We might as well, we're talking about movies. Might as well talk about Ghost Rider. Get it out of the way.
Oh, I bet. Okay, we'll do that first.
Yeah.
So Ghost Rider 2007. Uchi, our TikTok was up in flames. Actually, all of our social medias were up in flames over your reaction to not knowing the intro line to Ghost Rider 2007, which was something the West, something Tales of the West. I don't remember exactly what the line is.
Yeah.
Shout out Sam Elliott. Obviously, you don't know who Sam Elliott is, or I'm assuming you do now, or maybe didn't realize who he was. Pretty prolific voice actor in his own right. But now you know. What did you think of the movie?
So I know the homework assignment was only to watch that one film. I did extra credit and I watched that and the second one that followed up like 4 years after the fact.
Right.
The first one was pretty good. It was a very okay movie. It wasn't anything that had me going crazy. I wasn't freaking out over anything. I honestly thought the character that becomes Ghost Rider, he was like very interesting. Like he like more on the weird side.
Yes. Well, that's Nick Cage. That's
yeah. So that might be it. I feel like I've definitely watched Nick Cage movies in the past as a kid, but like I haven't seen too many of his probably in like the last I don't know how many freaking several years. And like I don't know, like I watched it with Crystal and we were kind of like on the same page with that. And like I think she was a little bit more on the this was a type movie. So yeah. It was fine. I did like the moment where you got the little tease. Like, and I kind of guessed this. I was like, when he goes to see that like dude, or when he wakes up and he like took care of him. I'm like, he's telling him the story of the origin, the legend, all that shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I wonder if this motherfucker was Ghost Rider, and there he was.
Yeah.
And he had one last ride. I thought that was probably like my favorite moment.
The last ride through the desert.
Yeah, like next to the like the prison scene, which I didn't even realize.
Jacket.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that I've seen that clip before. It was years ago, like randomly, like on Facebook or something. And that clip came across, and I'm like, dude, what the hell? I totally didn't even know there was a Ghost Rider movie. This was years ago. So like when I saw it again now, I was like, oh, this is where this came from. That's pretty cool. So I don't know. Like I said, it was a very okay film.
Yeah. It's definitely not. It's in that era of superhero movies where, looking back on them now, they're not the best movies, but they were fun. At the time, they were a lot of fun. We didn't really have much to compare to. But now looking back on it, it definitely is a very okay movie. It kind of serves the purpose of introducing Nick Cage's Ghost Rider, which is great. Johnny Blaze is great. But overall, very okay movie. It's fun. Being that I grew up, watched it. I'm pretty sure I watched a bunch as a kid. Going back and watching it was a lot of fun, and seeing, and All the transformation scenes were great. When he first transforms into Ghost Rider and is just screaming as the skull takes over, all the flames take over, and then the bike transforms too, which
Yeah,
is a
that
lot
was
of
cool. I
fun.
like
Yeah.
that.
But all like the fights were so lackluster with the demons, I guess they are. And then Mephistopheles kind of having a smaller role in the film, I guess was kind of a letdown because Mephisto's, fucking Mephisto. Like he's, high level demon shit within the MCU or within, not within the, oh my God, I'm going to get butchered within Marvel
Clip
whole,
it.
right? Yeah.
Get us another 4,000
Yeah, there we go.
followers.
Please. um, so for the first appearance of Mephisto is pretty crazy just for him to kind of show up with Johnny, give Johnny the contract and disappear.
Yeah.
So I did not watch the second one. So how did you feel at the second one? Because it's been a minute since I've seen it.
So I actually ran a lot of polls.
Yeah.
Across Instagram, Threads, Twitter, my YouTube channel, and I wanted to gauge what people thought that watched those movies, right? And I had a hunch that what I felt was how the majority felt.
Mm-hmm.
And the results, I don't even have to look at them because everyone said that the first one was fine and the second one was ass. Okay, this is not me just saying this. This is people voting themselves with their own free will. And I had no ulterior motive. I just wanted to see, right? However, I had one person who I know personally. Him and I go way back in the Xbox 360 days, okay? My boy Tevin, all right? He literally said that the second movie was amazing. And I was like, wait, surely it must be more comic accurate or something, right?
Anything.
And I know that he is one of those comic readers. Like he has a new video every Wednesday from the shit that he picks up. He's one of those, and like, and I respect that. I wish I could do that shit.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
But
you could do it once a month with your fucking 20-pound stack that you get.
Yeah, I go crazy whenever I end up going to the fucking store. But with that movie, when I asked him, I was like, so is the second one just like more comic accurate? And he said that it basically was. But I feel like because he may have had a prior interest and love for the character of Ghost Rider, that he was more accepting of it. Let me just tell you, here in this household, what happened. I was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal, of course, watching it with me as well. When we usually watch films or anything, if one of us starts getting tired, we alert, hey, let's pause it, we'll continue to the next day or whenever, right?
Right.
Cool. She did not tell me to pause it. She purposely fell asleep. And then when she woke up, and I let her sleep too. I didn't even wake her up. I didn't even bother. I was
That's
like,
fair,
yeah.
yeah.
Because honestly, like, the more the movie kept playing along, it was just showing its ass, like very much out there. And it's crazy because my man Heimdall is in it. Right? Not actually Heimdall. Like, again, I'm bad with actor names.
Yeah,
Idris Elba, right? He's in there. I'm like, oh, cool. Surely this will be great. Bro, this movie was wild, and not even in a good way. Like, I was just like, what the fuck? And, yo, I just remember her saying, like, yo, this movie sucks.
That's funny.
I was just hearing her snoring. And I was like, let her sleep. And then she would wake up at the end. She was like, that movie sucked. So imagine falling asleep and then saying even still that the movie was trash.
Right.
So
didn't even dream a better movie. It was just ass regardless.
Oh my God, yeah. So I mean, I'm sorry if you loved that movie and this offended you, but the tone was just so different, and like the way Nick Cage took the character that he already played in the previous movie, he like made him feel so different. And I was just like, okay, this feels weird. Like off the bat, like it was just it was like a completely different experience. And it's almost as if like they tried to retcon, but continue where they left off. It was weird. Like, I don't know. It was
I
strange.
wonder if the second one had a different director.
I'd imagine so.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Is it Spirit of Vengeance or is that the
Yeah,
first one?
Spirit of Vengeance. Yeah, that's like his moniker or whatever. He's the
Right.
Spirit of Vengeance.
2011. That's wild. It was 1 year before. When did Iron Man come out?
Wait, it was same year, I think.
Might be. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. I don't know. So, but yeah, that's it. So we can let's get on to something better, Hal. How about that? Have some
Sounds
X-Men episode
good
8
to me. Thank you for watching it. Glad you watched it. I have another homework assignment that we'll talk about at the end of the show. Just so that way we can keep this up, so that way we can become more educated on these films as we go.
Yeah.
And so we know our Marvel lore and history. So without further ado, X-Men 97 episode 8, titled Tolerance is Extinction Part 1. I say this every episode. What a fucking episode this was. It's just
facts,
like
though.
They keep, I don't know how they do it, man. Each episode is better than the one before, with the exception of like the Life Death John, which is whatever. Incredible episode. We finally got Cable back in the fold.
Yep.
Sunspot had his day in the sun. Yep. Wolverine, Nightcrawler had their fight together. And plenty of cameos. I wouldn't call it a cameo fest, but I would say that there was a lot of cameos to set up future everything. So what are your initial reactions to this first, or this one, part 1 of 3?
Dude, if this is part 1, we're fucked. Part 2 and 3 is gonna go crazy.
Absolutely insane. Yeah.
I like, the one expectation I always have when I go into an episode of X-Men 97 is that this shit is gonna hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how, because a lot of folks, even like the avid comic readers, they have an idea of what may happen, but everyone's still tuning in high anticipation.
Yeah.
So it's like very exciting. I mean, you have people staying up until midnight, 3 a.m., depending on where they are.
Yeah, 3 a.m. our time,
to watch it as soon as it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And like, unless you're like me, I wake up at like 6 in the morning just so I can get it done, react to it before I go to work, get it, all that. But it's like hard to put it into words because of like just how godlike it is.
Right.
This episode specifically, it was just like it another blueprint to like how to write like a pretty much near perfect story. It's like, you go back to how it started, and Magneto is turning a new leaf for the sake of his best friend, who everyone thinks is dead. He takes up the X-Men under his wing, his control, out of respect for his fallen friend. And he goes by the book, he goes by the will, whatever, the final testament, whatever. No affiliation to the wrestling team, right? And even when he tries to play nice, they tried to fuck him over, and he still played nice. He did everything the right way, and it all came circling back around to this very moment, to the point where my man was cuffed up, and then he was set free. He didn't even say a word. He just went straight to business and shut down every single human sentinel. Oh, which, by the way, yeah, there's human sentinels now. Fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that you go back a little bit more, not like further beyond, but like a couple episodes previous, to where we get confirmation that Magneto is an Omega level threat. We literally see in this episode why that is. He shut down every single human sentinel in the world.
Not even just that. He shut down all electronic devices. He shut down
you're not texting during this movie. You're not. Like, you're just not.
He rejected Jubilee's arcade membership. That's what he did.
Completely. Tokens don't work.
Yep, no more.
That is like, and
While
that's
he
just
was
one example.
while he was butt ass naked too.
My man, yo, did he even have underwear? Now that
Yeah, he had underwear. Yeah.
okay, I was about to say you better have some fucking drawers on. That's
Yeah,
just crazy. But yeah, that, and then that's just that. But then the cameos, like you said, I mean, we're both wearing our shirts, Spider-Man shirts, right?
Gotta rep the boy.
We're always repping.
Yeah.
The fact that he swung in, it wasn't even like a newspaper cover. It wasn't like you saw his foot in the corner of a frame. It's not like you saw him in a picture frame or on a poster. The Spider-Man from the animated series that shares the same universe as the X-Men made his appearance.
Yes, he did.
And it was so awesome.
It was perfect. You know,
bro, it was breathtaking. I literally, like mid-thought when I saw.
I think it was one of those things where we all kind of knew it would probably happen, especially with Cap. You know, like getting to see Cap. Cap was teased. That was one thing. We were like, okay, well, now we know Spider-Man is in this universe. Getting to see it and getting that confirmation, and this is like one of those things that hasn't been spoiled. You know, like there's a lot of things that could be spoiled in the show just from reading the comics. There's no
True.
fucking way that you would have known that
Yeah.
Spidey's just going to make an appearance, and so he just literally drops in without saying a word and shocked the world.
I
No
just
pun
hope.
intended.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
shock.
Yeah.
Nah. I just hope that, you know, Marvel, who, like I mentioned, noticed my reaction on TikTok, so shout out to that. But I hope they notice the intrigue.
Oh, they have to. They do. There's no you don't just drop Spider-Man. You know, the arguably the most popular superhero on the face of the planet. You don't just drop him in in the show and not care to elaborate on it, right?
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's literally what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just like,
because he's like quasi mutant as it is anyway.
literally everybody online, that's like the most reacted to thing. Like I even saw, like there's some other reactors on YouTube that try to play nice and they don't like put Spider-Man on the thumbnail, but there are some that have, and I don't blame them. Especially in this day and age, you need the most clickbaity shit. If you're trying to make a successful business out of this, you have to. Like I had a friend tell me last week, he's like, "Yo, Uchi, like chill with the thumbnails." I'm like, "No, like sorry, but like I'm trying to get people to like click on my video."
Right.
And he's like, "Nah, I get it. I'm like, "Yeah, so like you relax."
Yeah. that was the only reason I didn't put Spidey in ours. Because I was like, I don't want to fucking spoil anybody.
Dude,
but
I legit, like, I was nice.
Yeah,
and
you blurred
I
it.
blurred him in a corner in a bubble. But I realistically, I wanted to be so authentic with it. And who knows, maybe I held myself back. Maybe I would have had way more views because my short got 10K, my TikTok got over 14K, and my regular video got over 1,000. So we're in the K club here. Well, let me not go any further with that, but yeah, that shit is crazy, son. We're in the 1,000 club, okay, with these shits, and it's all because of Spider-Man.
Yes,
and that was just one cameo, Joey.
Just it was like 5 seconds, not even.
Yeah,
he didn't even say anything.
He didn't even say anything.
Yeah. So to bring up the other cameos, Doctor Doom, fucking out of left field, bro. I popped so hard. Was not expecting that. A lot of people are like way more. I don't want to say more intrigued with that cameo than they are with Spider-Man, but they're like, why the fuck is Doom aligned with Bastion in this? When Doom, like Magneto, has also gone through the Holocaust and gone through all these other things throughout all his life. So it feels like they're setting up little bits and pieces everywhere just to be like, hey, you never know, it could be coming back because now that Spider-Man's here, Doom is here, it just makes sense for them to go full blown create a Marvel animated cinematic universe at this point, right?
At this point, they could go that approach, or you know, they could honestly just take advantage of what they have with this animated universe
Mm.
and elaborate on it, expand upon it, and do things that would take the cinematic universe a little bit longer to push out.
Yeah.
Because as you can see with the pacing of this show, they can get so much more done.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and this is literally how the comic book industry even works. It's like you have a story, and then that story branches off into like other people's perspectives that all entangles with like the grander story, and then that turns into something else, and then rinse repeat. And that's how you get people rotating through books and issues and whatnot. And then the same thing is kind of what has happened with the grander MCU is like you have all these big films and now television series that play into this bigger told story.
Right.
But now that we're now that we're in a time where Marvel's like, okay, we're gonna cut back on a lot of that so that way we can just focus on quality shit. They're only gonna release banger films now.
Yes.
Like
They have to.
people like Deadpool will be the ones that get like a solo film. Outside of that, it's gonna be Avengers or X-Men.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they like I feel like why not? Like if they're gonna stick with What If, cool, they can keep doing that. But like people clearly give a shit about the animated stuff.
And the animated stuff has always worked. You know,
Yes.
it's very hard to come by something that even like DC or Marvel has done that's animated that's like ass. Like
Yeah.
it's very hard for them to fuck it up just because they have so many. I feel like the animators probably overlap very well with the comic book writers, and so that all of them mesh. Like look at Bo, look at everybody else that's working on this series. It's like they all are comic nerds, and so it all just works better. You don't have as many hands in the cookie jar with all the actors and personalities coming into it with like live action. So
Oh.
I absolutely agree. I think that Spider-Man was feelers. Doom was probably just to get a pop, but I think people seeing Spider-Man was definitely feelers. But there's who in their right mind would not want to see this, right? Like who does not want that back, you know? But it like with 97, it needs to be done right. Like it can't just,
Correct.
you know, it can't just come back and be a cameo fest. Um, can't just come back and suck, right? Like there needs to be a purpose for it coming back. Like if it were to end up being some kind of greater animated universe, I'm all fucking about that. Like please give me more of that.
I honestly like the last thing I'll say about that is I truly feel like much to your point, they really also not only just take advantage of this easy opportunity to just make more out of it, they have to stick with their guns and not get like too like gun like trigger happy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Because the only other show that I know for a fact will get the same sort of love and reception is Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
So I think that what they should really do is stick to just X-Men and Spider-Man. Those are the two big juggernauts here.
Yeah. I don't think people want Fantastic Four, especially not yet.
Yeah, like and I was and I guess you could say I've been doing my own little research like while I'm working, like I mentioned, I like listen to a lot of videos and like in a lot of the mush that of all this information of knowledge that I've been getting, a part of that is how they've never successfully been able to do like a Captain America solo show. But
Mm.
but what they end up doing is an Avengers one.
Yes,
So
most of the
like
time, yeah.
yeah, so basically, and that tells you a lot about the MCU characters because MCU built what they did off of what they had available. So they shined on Iron Man, Hulk, Cap, Thor, and so on, right?
Yeah.
They made it work. It was well received. Everybody loved it, and then eventually we got to Endgame. Galaxy of the Guardians of the Galaxy was like a happy accident because they took a chance and people end up loving them. But that same thing does not apply for a lot of the other projects that ended up coming in between and whatnot.
Yeah.
So now we're at a point where we are now shifting back into that tighter fit, but also realizing, and a lot of people are probably getting like awakened to this fact, not just realization, just fact, is that there are two things that people will always give a shit about: X-Men
Mm.
and Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you start doing stuff with those two properties, you start making money.
That's true.
And that's facts. And like we already know that X-Men 97 is getting a second season. So like if they decide
I think
that
they're.
they're
I
gonna
think they're
do it, a
confirmed
Spider-Man
like a
one.
third. I think they confirmed a third as well.
See if they okay, well that's fire. That's just like,
Yeah.
icing on top or whatever. But
Right.
oh, we have a question. Okay, what's
Awesome.
up?
Do you guys think some of the characters translate to live action better than others? X-Men animators versus live actions being the prime example. I think it's the other way around. I think it's
Mm,
very hard to translate characters to the silver screen because of the stories and the way that they can move. Plus, you also like
that's
this
true.
is a lot of the issues that some people have with comic book movies, or like that's one of the biggest issues is the needing for the actor to be shown as the actor and not the character.
Right.
Where most of the time their masks are off. Where it's like, we want the mask fucking on. Like, please, Hugh Jackman, wear the fucking mask. Like, please, all the time wear the
I'm sure
mask.
at some point he will.
He
Because
will,
they already
yeah.
got him in the yellow suit.
Right.
So
But what I'm saying is like most of the time on screen, they are maskless or the masks only cover half their face. You can tell that it's Chris Evans. You can tell that it's Tom Holland because he's never fucking wearing the mask. The exception to that rule is like Deadpool because it's either wear the mask or sit through like 8 hours of prosthetics on your fucking face
yeah.
to give you the Wade Wilson look. So, um, I think it's really tough. I think that animation is almost the better way to go than live action adaptations, just because it's easier, in my opinion, to one make characters look cooler
Yeah.
in animation, and to really push the boundaries of storytelling in animation too. Because you can have something like X-Men 97 where it's like they condensed like 80 issues into a nice tight 10
Right.
episodes of story, and we're all pretty happy with it. Like, not, yes, it's fast, but at the same time it's like they're hitting every beat, they're not really missing anything, and everybody's getting their time to shine. It's almost like everybody's getting their own episode. So um I don't know. I think what also helps is when the movies are good, it feels better. So
Yeah.
I'm holding my breath on the X-Men movies, but I have the feeling that Kevin Feige, now being less stretched, is going to really deliver because he started with the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
So him getting his chance to rectify the wrongs that were done to them is going to set him on a whole nother level. Like he's going to like put every ounce of what he has into those films.
I think another thing that you also have to take into consideration is that movies are very limited. Like you don't
Yes.
have as many limitations when you have like an animated series, for example.
You got like 3.5 hours max.
Yeah, and like they have to condense it so much so to the point where sometimes movies might seem to even lose touch with what they're adapting a little bit
Mm,
because they're trying to hit movie notes. They're trying to
yeah.
make it feel like a movie and and that's I feel like a crutch in a way. Like that's something that holds what it could be back because they're trying to fill certain check boxes like, oh, does it have this to make it feel like a movie? I mean, at the end of the day, it is an adaptation, but you know, at the end of the day, it's really on us, the fans. Like, if we don't like it, it's not gonna be a good thing for them.
Right.
They're not gonna waste their time trying to do it again or to continuously try to make this work when they're trying to do it a certain way, but it doesn't work. Like, we're talking about X-Men right now. I feel like that's like a really good example because when you see X-Men 97, even if you watch the original series, the series has the most potential to literally take the story and all its characters into whatever direction they want, and they give as much time necessary, and it seems like it just hits every time.
Yeah.
X-Men as a show feels like a true team-oriented show. You obviously get like focused episodes on specific characters, but that's like a shared thing amongst like the majority of the cast.
Mhm.
Obviously, you have some more than others, but rightfully so. It's because they play integral parts in those specific stories that's currently being told. So you then translate that over to like the live action X-Men. The first trilogy literally feels like Wolverine movies.
Yeah.
He is the helm of it all. And even though you do get the other characters, they don't get the same kind of shine and light.
Yeah,
Limelight.
Scott is like such a secondary, tertiary character in the films.
Yeah, like
He's just like there.
when you watch X-Men the animated series and 97, you know that Cyclops is the captain. He's one of the leaders. Storm, another one. Jean, another one. You know what I'm saying? Like they all have their roles and they all have some sort of stock in the overall story. It's just
Mhm.
like animated series, they can just do it right. I feel like better sometimes
Yeah,
than a live action version.
I agree.
So,
Prime
on that note,
example, Teen Titans. Prime example.
oh yeah,
Eh,
yeah.
yeah. Imagine the budget needed to translate X-Men 97 story and action sequences to live action. Very limiting it in live action. Agreed. Yeah, it would be fucking awesome, but you're very limited. And it's like you're also limited with like the actors and what they are willing to do on screen. Take like The Rock, for example. The Rock can't lose a fight. It's like built into his contracts, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
that's broken. That's some
yeah.
other shit right
So it's
there.
like you got to deal with all that shit where it's like for this you just got to deal with the voice actors just knocking their things out of the park. So, thank you for the question though, because that was great. Please
I,
come around more often and ask better questions like
yeah,
that. That was great.
I will say this though to entertain this question a lot more, and this was like a dope question by the way.
Yeah.
I think like the best way you could translate an animated version of anything into a movie is if you take like a solid chunk. Like I would say, for example, right now, the Extinction is like Tolerance is Extinction. Parts 1, 2, and 3, that could be a movie right there.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
That would translate well because it's like the climax version of like I mean, like this whole show has been building up towards that. So I feel like if you were to just make a movie based off of that, it would fit nicely into like a 2.5
Yep.
to 3 hour film
For sure.
if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, maybe we'll get it one day. They fucking sick. All right. Back on track real fast. So we should talk about Prime Sentinels because that's like the main bulk of the episode. Last week I had mentioned that anybody could be a fucking Sentinel. Anybody could be a Prime Sentinel.
you did say
I
that, yes.
I
you did.
theorized that Cap could potentially be a Prime Sentinel, which we don't know that. I'm fairly certain that most of the superpowered fellows are safe for now, outside of like
now.
Cable, right?
Assumably.
Yeah, assumably. So, that scene where Cable, Jean, Scott are in Bastion's bedroom looking at the picture that he painted of the Genosha massacre.
Shit was crazy.
And then Grandma turns into a fucking Prime Sentinel right behind him.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Insane. Only for them to bust out of the building and the entire neighborhood is turning. And then the entire world turns.
Yep.
What were you feeling in that moment? Because like it felt like almost like zombie apocalypse was happening where everybody's just mutating and turning into these Prime Sentinels. And it's just like, how do you beat that? I mean, we know how we saw it get beat, but like, how do you beat that in the moment? Right. Like, it was nuts.
That's what I'm saying. Like this show makes you stressed. It gives you anxiety. It like the stakes rise every time. Like these dilemmas, these are not monsters of the week. This is not like something that can get resolved with just one episode. Like this is crazy. Like this is quite literally affecting the entire world, and it's happening in an instant. Like they barely have any time to react. Like prior to this, like leading into this, like Scott was trying to like formulate some sort of relationship with his son Cable, and he wasn't even having it. Now they're just like, all right, we're all a family now. Let's get it
Yeah,
going.
Summers against the world.
Yeah, that shit was
What
fire.
what did he say? I think I wrote it down. Something about let's show. Oh fuck! What did he say? I
Oh,
didn't
I
write it
know what you're
down.
talking about.
When he said like let's show them what the Summers can do, or like don't.
Yeah.
Oh, let's show these toasters why you don't screw with the Summers. And then after that, I wrote let's fucking go because it was so sick.
Yeah, it was fire.
So good to see the family in action, and it was really good to see Jean kind of lean into being more of a mother with Nathan. That was a lot of fun, or
Yeah, it
with
was cool.
Cable, because I know like she was feeling it, right? Um, Another thing that we kind of briefly passed over, which we shouldn't have passed over, is Beast mentions that the wizards witches over at Carmitage have discussed that there are certain events in the timeline known as absolute points, which I believe that's an MCU term, right?
Quite literally,
Yes.
line for line, that is what the Sorcerer Supreme said in Endgame.
To Hulk,
Yes.
to Banner, yeah.
Yes. That shit is like, I noticed, or at least maybe I'm just not seeing them, but I noticed there's a lot less people saying that this ain't no MCU.
Mm.
They're detracting.
Yeah.
We told you so, guys. Since episode 1, even
Yep.
before then, we told you. But it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So what a great way to like really bridge everything. And we've been getting hints. We saw the Watcher, and then when Forge was casting his spell, it would looked all Mystic Arts-y. So it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else on this episode? I guess Magneto EMPing the fucking world was pretty sick.
It was.
Literally blocking out everything. We finally got to see, or not finally got to see, but I think we got a glimpse of what is to come in season 2 with Omega Red, Silver Samurai, and Doom pretty much. Oh, and also Baron Zemo was also shown right after Doom was shown. So it looks like they're really setting up a lot coming into this next, because we're coming down to the wire. We got 2 more weeks left of the show, which is really fucking sad when you think about it. But that's okay, because right after this ends, we're getting Boss season 2. So
oh my, Adventures with Superman.
Yes, sir.
Great show. We covered it last year. Go back and check those episodes out.
Please do. That's what the other guy.
Yeah, it was.
And then the very end of the episode, Charles finally shows back up and closes out the episode with a "To me, my X-Men." And so it was really good. So any last notes on this before we go to our draft?
This is the greatest show of all time.
Facts.
I feel like they're all going to team up, with Magneto included. And then after they resolve this, it'll be like we never left, because it will be back to Charles trying to fight against Magneto and change his ways despite everything. And Magneto's be like, bitch, shut the fuck up. You wasn't even here. That part.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll see, because it's going to be it's going to have to take place after Genosha now, because Genosha is a absolute point. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm ready to see Bastion get his cheese clap. That's what I'll say. And Sinister, all of them.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see it. Like, yeah, like Divided said, X-Men 97 said a very high bar for the MCU live action show is going to be hard to follow all this all, and that's true, and that's why I know with all the confidence. Like, I've already been confident with Marvel Studios, but now that they're giving us this shit, there's no way they're gonna fucking waste their time making garbage.
We're not getting another Secret Invasion.
We're never.
Yeah, you can't.
Never.
Because if you go to that, if you go back to that after this, it's just not good looks.
Oh yeah, no.
Not good looks. Yeah.
So let's get to this draft.
All right. Bet. So last week on TikTok, or I guess this week, was it this week? this past Sunday. Holy shit! It was, oh my god. So on Sunday, we had posted a list from ranker.com, which apparently was just ass, which I should have known. And so that we'd been speculating about what we wanted to do next. And so we wanted to do a draft, given that it is NFL draft season. The WWE
WWE
draft just
draft.
ended.
Yeah.
And we just really want to do this. So real quick, shout out to Half-Life Divided and George Jorge
Cybertech. Oh, I
Cybertech.
like that name.
Magneto could destroy the Earth if he want to. Absolutely could. He basically did in this episode. If he had done that in 2020 now, 2024,
2020 now.
everybody be fucking dead. So
Facts.
yeah, it's gonna be real interesting to see what comes of our boy Magnus.
Yo, I know. Oh, I don't know what. I don't want to speculate because I will. It'll extend the episode like another.
We'll do
hour.
this and then we'll speculate real fast. So, rules of the draft are as follows. This is a X-Men 97 character draft. So all characters within the X-Men 97 universe are eligible for the draft. So that includes certain individuals that were brought forth today. This does not include Morph's forms, though. So we can draft Morph, but we can't be like, well, I draft Morph as Juggernaut.
Oh,
you know?
that's a good rule. That is a good rule.
Because
yeah.
because we didn't talk about it, but Morph showing up as Juggernaut was fucking sick, only for him to get mopped. But that's okay.
Yeah.
The person has to physically have appeared in the show. So Doom does not count because Doom was behind a monitor. Iceman was shown. Oh shit, was he shown in this episode?
Iceman?
Oh no, you know what? I was thinking.
In the picture.
I watched a bunch of episodes today because Bo had put out a tweet and was like, "You should watch these episodes."
Oh yeah,
and
I didn't have time to do that. I wanted to do that.
yeah.
But...
So the one was it was showing it was like rehashing memories to Xavier because it was when Bishop, Storm, Logan, and Bishop's sister had to go back in time to save Charles, and they were like, "This is what your life could be like." It was showing the original X-Men. So if they were not present in the show in X-Men 97, they're not eligible. Got it.
Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is I came prepared. I'm not gonna show you what my potential picks are, like my highly anticipated ones.
Yeah,
right.
This is my show notes and then my pick.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, guys. Feel free to like play along, like as far as like coming up with your own draft picks. And then keep those handy for whenever like the clip goes up on TikTok and YouTube, and then you could just respond with your what your draft is. And for the sake of time, we're not doing like a full X-Men team of 10. We're gonna do 5 each.
Yeah. But we can do another. We'll do another in the future. Oh, that's very kind of you. So the way it'll go is I'll go. Uch goes twice. I go twice. Uch goes twice.
Oh my god! What are this? Smash bands?
No, it's so we snake down. So that way it's not just. I guess we could go back and forth, but
that's what I figured we were gonna do.
All right, we'll go back and forth. That's fine.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
It's more anticipation. Anticipation.
For our X-Men 97 character draft, my first round draft pick goes to Magneto.
Oh, fuck. Okay. All right.
Yes, that is my first round pick. Pick. Only because we saw the boy in his skivvies absolutely destroy the entirety of Bastion's plan. So
okay. All right. That's fair. All right. So
because I figured if you were going to go first, you might have picked him first. That's why I wanted to pick him.
You know what? You are very smart in
Thank you.
in thinking that way, right? So I'm gonna go with my heart first. All right, because I have to make sure she is on the team.
She. An ally.
I gotta go with Rogue. Have to.
Ooh.
Have to.
Okay.
Have to.
Yeah. I knew I have a list of picks in my head that I knew you were gonna pick, and Magneto and Rogue were like top of the list. So I was like, okay. All right, that's fine. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get both. So I gotta be smart about it.
Yeah, the fact that we can't pick one that gets picked makes this a way more fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so oh god, this is tough now. Because there's so many. All right, my second round pick is gonna be the Goblin Queen herself,
Ooh.
Madelyne Pryor.
Okay. Nice.
I wasn't sure if we wanted to establish this rule, but I wanted to say it afterwards. Was if one of us picks Madelyne, can the other one pick Jean? I don't really care.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Absolutely.
fair enough.
All
So
right.
Madelyne Pryor is my second pick, only because she's like Jean but way hotter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my next pick, I'm gonna have to go with Morph. I'm not gonna lie,
Okay.
because Morph is such a wild card character. Now, some could probably argue against Morph and saying that, like, well, even though he's able to like replicate other people's powers, he like doesn't. He always gets whooped anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
So like doesn't matter. But I'm not thinking like that, okay? I'm thinking positive. My man Morph is out here. He can quite literally copycat and mimic anybody, and that's a busted power to have. And he's so adaptable. So that's what I'm trying to do here.
And to be fair, the last 2 times we've seen him fight, he's gone up against the Prime Sentinels, which are like insane.
Exactly, yeah. So it's like it's OD.
It's unfair. Yeah, it's unfair. All right, that's a good pick. Good pick. So you've got Rogue and Morph.
Yep.
And I've got Magneto and Madelyne. So
yep.
Because I got the mother, I got to go with the son. I'm picking Cable for number 3.
Okay.
On my X-Men 97 pick list. Got to get Nathan. Too good.
That's a good pick.
He's too strong, man. Too strong.
Yeah, no, that is a fire pick.
Yeah.
Cable is... Listen, if you don't like Cable, something's wrong with you.
Something's very wrong with you.
Right. All right. Okay. So for my number 3, I'm going to have to look to the skies and see the thunder, the lightning. I'm picking my girl, Storm, for number 3.
All right. Mistress of the Elements. Good job. That's a good pick.
Yes.
That's a great pick. She was also on my list of people you were going to pick too. So,
yo, you had the download.
I knew. Okay. I read somewhere that he's only able to mimic physical powers. Think that's true, like strength and speed, but not telekinesis. That's what I think we've seen.
That actually makes sense.
Yeah, because he was able to, like, when he was Lady Deathstrike, he like got the whole claws.
Yeah, which is, I guess, physical.
Yeah, and then we saw him with the claw. He saw Magneto's claw, and then he got the Quickster powers from Quicksilver, and then he became the Juggernaut. And I mean, he kind of got tossed, so it is what it is. But who knows?
Sentinels.
Yeah, and then he turned into Archangel, was able to fly. So
physical.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
Morph's
that's
great.
That's a good attention to detail there.
Yeah.
I was wondering the same thing, low key. I was like, yo, this is like, if he just maybe that's why he's not considered one of the strongest mutants.
Yeah.
Because if he was able to be like if his power extended beyond like just physical
if he was
mimicry,
like a Ditto,
he'd be like a male rogue in a sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Better because he can still touch people.
Yeah. Right. All right. My number 4 pick. Damn, we're fucking flying through this shit. Number 4 pick. Oh, this is tough. There's still a lot of fucking people to pick. My number 4 pick is going to be the Bayou Boy, Gambit himself. Cher.
Okay, respect.
Yes, sir.
Remember it. Yeah.
Remember it. Yep. And then my last pick is going to absolutely blow everybody away. So, what do you got, number 4?
All right. So, for my number 4 pick, this is going to be a little interesting because I have to go into my reserves here.
Ooh.
All right. So, I won't lie.
Picks?
You did steal my Magneto. I did want fucking Magneto. He would have been my second pick.
Yeah.
You picked him first, so you were smart for that.
Thank you.
I respect that. Now, so for me, I'm gonna have to go with Jean Grey. Because I feel like all teams need some sort of like a psychic, mental, telekinetic type of person to be godlike. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good pick. Yeah, we both got our genes. So that's good. It's good that
Yep.
there's two. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got Madelyne, I got Jean,
Yeah.
and they can both be Phoenix.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
everybody
Yeah,
wins.
perfect. Okay. My last pick, my ringer, if you will, for our X-Men 97 character draft is Robert Glob Herman.
Wow.
Easily one of my favorite X-Men to ever exist. He may be a wee child in the show, but Glob is great, and I felt he deserved to be on this list.
So you mean to tell me
You can't get better than that.
you picked
You try.
Glob
Yeah.
over Wolverine
And Bastion and Vulcan and Deathbird
and Cyclops
and Cyclops. Yeah.
and Nightcrawler
Yeah.
and Beast
and Omega Red and yeah.
All
Glob,
right.
bro.
My man is committed to his pick. All right.
I gotta get the click somehow.
I guess. I fucking guess. Okay. Well, last but not least, this pick should come at no surprise. And like Joey emphasized at the beginning of this, that we are allowed to choose a character that has been visibly, physically on our screens.
Mm-hmm.
So by that technicality, you know I'm web crawling. I'm web swinging. I'm getting my man Spider-Man. Let's go.
It's a good pick. It's not a glob pick though, but it's a good pick nonetheless.
Oh, you're damn right. It's a glob pick. The fuck.
All right, let us know whose roster you think is best. I'm gonna hide my Spider-Man shirt for the rest of the thing. Either of you guys said the other Omega. Oh yeah, you didn't grab Professor X. That's okay.
Yeah,
He's been off planet. We don't need him. We got everybody else.
The reason why I didn't pick anybody like Professor X, for example, is like when I think of the team, I think of the people that actually go out and do the fighting.
Yeah, he's just sitting there with Cerebro.
Like he helps, but he doesn't get involved on the same level that everyone else does. So I mean, he's a great mentor role. He's a great character just to have. But since he's management. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, that's godlike.
That's so fucked up.
It's hella fucked up, but hey, man, it is what it is. So
he built a whole school to help.
And look, we only
people.
had 5 picks. We only had 5.
And now he's relegated to management.
Yeah, bro. He's in the books.
He's Batboy for the X-Men.
All right, so roll call your list, and then I'll do mine after.
My roll call list is Magneto, Madelyne Pryor, Cable, Gambit, Robert Glob Herman. An iconic 5. Doesn't get better.
Yeah, totally.
This is the purple and green team.
All right, so my team for my X-Men 97 draft, I have selected Rogue, Morph, Storm, Jean Grey, and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. You know, the funny thing is, none of our teams have like Cyclops, Wolverine. That's nuts.
No. Yeah.
Because we're going for godlike characters.
I feel like, they're just so popular and they're such an obvious pick that it's like almost not fun to pick them in something like this. You know what I mean? Unless it's like last.
Yeah. Well, if we had like more room, I would have probably went with either like Wolverine or Psych at some point.
We can do another one. We'll do another one another time.
Another time. Maybe when the show's over.
Yeah, and we see who all is left in it when the Avengers debut in episode 10. Then we can pick Tony Stark.
Yo, so on my backup list, I actually did write down Cap like as a potential, pick. And like
that's fair.
Obviously, we could have went with like Bastion or something like that, but like, man, that's not fun.
Yeah,
that's like broken.
Right. My list, I also had Omega Red, which I thought would have been funny, but that's ridiculous. Then I also had who else did I had? I had Nightcrawler. I thought Nightcrawler would be great to have on the team.
Yeah, he's in my backup. So he's high up on my backup list.
Storm, Vulcan, and then Charles were all my backups. So
I was also, in case for some reason you went with Jean Grey, I was gonna pick Emma Frost.
oh fuck yeah, that'd have been
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
because again, I have to have that telepath on the team. You know, I
yeah,
have to have somebody.
yeah.
So
I wanted Cable real bad, so that's why I figured Madelyne would be fun to have, and then Cable associated would just be a good time. But
Yeah.
Daddy don't need to be there. He doesn't care anyway, so it's fine.
That's funny. All right.
Everyone
Well,
likes
that's it,
Wolverine,
right?
but he's really pretty down on the mutant power scale. Yeah, that's actually true, unfortunately.
Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he's a great combatant. He's great to have on the team. He's OD, fan favorite, despite him not maybe being the most powerful, but
He's just cool.
fucking
It
Wolverine.
it doesn't get fucking cooler than
His
Wolverine.
story is
Did I show
crazy.
you these?
Everyone respects it.
Am I still connected? We were at Target, and I was like, "Oh, babe, look, they got the fucking action figures." And then Sarah went back and then bought me the fucking
Ooh.
little. They were like $10 a piece. So I got Wolverine, and then I got Cyclops.
No, are you gonna collect them all now?
I shouldn't,
That's why I haven't started getting any of them.
right? But I just want to get these two. I really wanted, if they had a Morph one, it'd be cool. But I want a Gambit. But they only had Cyclops and Wolverine at Target. But then they had like a whole pack that was like $50 with Rogue, Cyclops, Wolverine,
Yeah.
and Gambit and Storm.
Yeah, those are things that I would love to collect. I mean, I'll tell you this is the last thing I'll say, and then we can wrap the show. I know that once the show's done, that's when they're gonna start merch dumping on everybody.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, dude, there's a reason why the soundtrack is not available on Spotify yet.
Not yet.
There's a reason why, like, they haven't even given us the street date for season 2. Like, they're waiting until the very last episode drops, and then it's like, all right, here's the special limited edition vinyl set. Here's the
you know I'm gonna fucking
CD,
get that shit.
the
If I can,
Blu-ray.
Oh,
I'm getting all of it. Just so you know.
What I want is I want a DVD that I can put in my CD player and play the soundtrack. Do you remember that shit?
if they actually are crazy enough to go out of their way to not even just have a Blu-ray set, but they have a VHS working
Could you imagine?
set, dude, I know for a fact the sales of VHS players will randomly skyrocket.
Yeah. Oh,
everyone will want to use fucking tape again. I'm telling you,
I'm already there,
dude.
I'm
there too, bro. I'm there too.
I got my Spider-Man, my Blade 2, and my Christopher Reeve Superman VHS is sitting up there. So,
yo, matter of fact, I actually still have my TV, my CRTs with the VHS and DVD, bro. We could bring that shit home and watch that on VHS.
I may have to buy one of those off of you.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. It's not for sale. Yo, Xmen branded VHS player with it, dude. This is what I like to fucking see right there.
Well, they already had they have the 1-of-1 Xmen 97 Xbox console.
I don't know why they would do that.
Too. Only one, right?
Like why? Yo, how would you?
Idiots.
Stupid. And all the controllers are those all 1-of-1s too?
I don't think so. I think the controllers are going to be for sale. But there's like one for everybody, so it would be crazy.
Yeah,
if they weren't 1-of-1.
There's certain ones that kind of look the same, and then there's ones that I'm just like, I would definitely want those because they stand out.
The Cyclops one looked very similar to somebody else. Because I mean, it's just like
yellow and blue.
Yeah, and then
they're
it had
all
like red.
I
think it was yellow and blue with red sticks. I think, which is like cool, right? But it's not like. I don't even know. Probably like Gambit probably has a pretty cool one with the purples. Same with Rogue, probably has like a cool white streak in it or some shit.
Exactly.
So, do you like the shades? You ready? I need like to
optic blast.
I need to
That was funny.
If I can figure out how to do effects on stream, I would love to have one where my camera will just flash red with the glasses.
Oh, there's a video I'll send you. I never got around to doing it, but there are ways.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I would love to do it. All right, well, that's all the time we got for today. What a fun little thing it was. Oh, assignment for this week, if everybody's got time. So
right.
We're gonna watch the Punisher movie. That's the plan. That's what I want to do. So we all got to figure out where to watch it. Don't pirate it. Never pirate. No, bad. Never pirate. Punisher wouldn't want you to pirate. Gotta figure out where to watch it, but that's the plan, is to watch and discuss the Punisher from 2005, whatever it
Whatever the
was.
first one was, yeah.
And that we'll do that next Wednesday on top of X-Men 97 episode 9, Thomas's Extinction Part 2.
Yep.
And then we'll probably talk about whatever ends up transpiring on the socials this coming weekend.
Oh, the first Punisher was 2004. I'm looking at my list.
Wow.
Crazy.
That is crazy. I thought you said you were probably never going to watch. I probably never will, but I am gonna. We need to.
It's on the Marvel Johns.
Yeah. So, and then on a future one is the Nick Fury Agent of Shield. With
That
the
sounds old as
it's
fuck.
the David Hasselhoff movie where he plays Nick Fury, because it's white Nick Fury.
Yeah, no, that's how I know it's
Yeah.
old. Because I remember he used to be a white dude.
Yeah, I think it's from the 80s.
That's crazy.
Because it's
I
like
forget those. They had
like
movies from back then too.
Right.
All right.
So,
well, sounds good, everybody.
yeah.
Make sure y'all are doing the homework. Make sure you're liking the video. Make sure you're checking us out on all our socials.
Yeah, check the socials. Even Marvel's checking us out on the socials. You know, something good is cooking, right?
Bo DeMaio even acknowledged.
Yes, he did.
On Twitter. So
yes, he did.
Shout outs to all the support guys. We do appreciate y'all watching our stuff, and we're striving to do this full time to have longer shows and more shows and more content. And
if we have if we get paid to do this, we don't have to do it at 10:30 at night. We can do this during the day or
absolutely
at a better time.
Or whenever,
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out. At
more
that point.
impromptu, more streams. We can do whenever. So, any last words?
I'm good.
Cool. Ghost Rider was mid.
Yep.
X-Men 97 continues to blow us away, and Robert Glob Herman for president.
Okay.
I hit the wrong button.
Take this guy's mic.
Right. All right, everybody. Have a good night. We will catch you right here, same time, same bat channel. Incredibly 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday at 10:30. So have a good night, everybody. We'll catch you later. Bye.
See ya.